Fort Worth! I'm Greg Casar, and I'm proud to represent the heart of Texas in the United States Congress. And before I give you all the speech that I had prepared for today, I want to say a few words about the news from last night that Donald Trump ordered strikes against Iran without authorization from Congress. Let me start out by clearly saying, under the United States Constitution, the president cannot go to war without a vote of Congress and without the consent of the American people right here in North Texas. It is illegal for Donald Trump to drag us into another endless war. Congress must vote right now on a war powers resolution to make clear that no president can send us into another war in the Middle East. No new wars. No new wars. My entire adult life, politicians have promised quick and easy conflicts in the Middle East. And then year after year after year after year, they send other people's kids to fight and die in these endless conflicts. And like every other member of my generation, I know too many people who came home from the Middle East with devastating injuries, with PTSD, and with people who never came home. No more. Enough. Enough. Fort Worth, Donald Trump promised peace and stability. He has no right to plunge us into another endless war. Donald Trump put a Fox News host in charge of the Pentagon. He has no right to put American lives at risk with his reckless approach. Donald Trump has fired thousands of people who care for our wounded veterans. He has no right to send more people into war who he will not care for when they come back. He has no right. No new wars. 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 So Fort Worth, I am proud that we've welcomed back to our state someone who's always been a champion against reckless wars, Senator Bernie Sanders. Look, there's some people who don't understand or say they don't get why Bernie would fly from Vermont down to North Texas. It's the kind of people who think that billionaires like Elon Musk have bought our state off for good. It's those kind of people who think that working Texans are so divided that we'll never take power back from the rich. People who think this is the best Texas can do. But we know better, don't we? We know better. Look, we're in a state where our president and our governor work for the billionaires rather than their own constituents. Is that the best we can do? A state where working people work overtime, 2-3 jobs, and can't afford the basics, but campaign donors keep on getting richer and richer off government contracts. Is that the best we can do? A state where every Republican we send to Congress campaigns saying they're going to work for us, and then they vote to kick millions of us off our health care to give billionaire tax cuts. Is that the best we can do? Anyone who thinks that's the best we can do does not know their Texas history. Texans won Juneteenth. Texans won Roe v. Wade. Texas birthed Medicaid and Medicare and Head Start and the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act. And right here, right now, Texas can birth a new kind of Democratic Party that puts working class people first, kicks out corrupt politicians of every party, and saves our damn country. We can do that right here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And let me tell you how I know. Because I didn't start my career in Congress or in a courtroom or in a C-suite. I started out as a labor organizer on construction sites. And you guys know a Texas construction site. 200 guys, black, white, brown, immigrant, and native-born, people with all sorts of opinions. But we could work together to agree on at least one thing. The wealthy real estate developer making millions could certainly afford to pay the guys working out in the sun a hell of a lot more. We could all agree on that. But you know, sometimes we'd encounter one of those developers who didn't want to pay. You guys know the type, the kind of guy who tries to make himself feel big by saying things like, "You're fired." And have a cheap spray tan and like to put their name on everything. The type who thinks every working person was put on earth to make him richer. That's all to say, I've seen Donald Trump's type before, and I've seen his playbook too. And when I was a labor organizer, every wealthy real estate developer that didn't want to give folks a raise used the same playbook. He would try to pit native-born workers against immigrant workers, black against white against brown, have us fight each other so the rich could get richer. But our playbook would work too, when we stuck together, when we didn't allow him to divide us, when we stood in union. We beat his playbook every time and won better wages here in Texas, better health care, won retirement, better working conditions, and a better life. We won because there's nothing more powerful in American history than working people who refuse to be divided. And Fort Worth, that's how we're going to win. That's how we're going to win. Because Elon Musk does not own our state. Craig Goldman does not own our votes. And Donald Trump does not own our country. You guys do. We do. And it's never been more important for us to come together. Because as we speak, Trump and Craig Goldman and Ted Cruz and John Cornyn are trying to ram through a billionaire budget. You can understand this billionaire budget with just two facts. First, it is the biggest billionaire tax cut in American history. Second, it gets worse. It's paid for by the biggest cut in health care in American history. Here in Congressman Craig Goldman's district, it would kick 35,000 people off of their health care, just right here alone. Think of that, 35,000 of your neighbors unable to go to a doctor because Craig Goldman's campaign contributors want a second yacht or a third private jet. That's not right. Is that right? We don't need a dictionary here in Texas to know what oligarchy is. It's what Republican puppet congresspeople do every day. They try to make sure the rich get richer while everybody else gets screwed. No more of that. And while they're robbing us blind, they're also ripping families apart and putting all of our rights at risk. We know it here in Texas. ICE showing up at schools and at churches. A man here with legal status getting deported to a foreign prison because his autism awareness tattoo they want to call a gang symbol. A 10-year-old Texan, U.S. citizen with brain cancer, deported away from her doctors because their parents are immigrants. That's not right. If you wake up afraid every day that someone that you love could be taken away from you on their way to work or on their way to school for no damn reason, I want you to know that I hear you, I see you, and we're going to fight like hell for you. Because an asylum seeker did not raise your rent, a Wall Street hedge funds did. Because a dreamer did not cut your health care, but a right-wing politician sellout sure as hell did. Fort Worth, we've got to make it stop. And that's where we all come in. Sure, Senator Sanders will do more than his fair share. Beto O'Rourke will do more than his fair share. We'll do what we can. But we need everybody here in this fight. Because you see, in Texas, everybody that's not a billionaire is getting screwed by their Republican congresspeople right now. Donald Trump won votes here in Tarrant County by lying to people. And our job is to go talk to everyone that feels betrayed by him. So I want to say, if you are here and you voted for Donald Trump, but you're fed up with his billionaire first policies, you are welcome here, and thank you for being here tonight. And everyone here tonight can go do exactly what Bernie and I are doing. Go and talk to people. So let's do one exercise. Raise your hand if a coworker or a family member or a loved one you know voted for Donald Trump or sat out the last election. Keep those hands up. That looks like thousands of hands. Keep them up. Now, if the person you're thinking of happens to be a billionaire, put your hand down. But if they're not, put them up, hold them up if they're not a billionaire. Oh yeah, it looks like all the hands are staying up. The person you're thinking of is getting screwed over by Donald Trump right now. You have someone to talk to if your hand is up. We don't have to go talk to them on the most hot button issues. Talk to them about the biggest thing that matters. Billionaires are getting a tax cut while they're getting screwed over. That's what we can go talk to people about. That's how we bring everybody on board. That's how everyone here is an organizer. That's how we win. Are y'all ready to win? Are y'all ready to do it? Now here comes the last part of my speech, and I think in some ways the most important. After we defeat Craig Goldman and Greg Abbott and John Cornyn and Ken Paxton, after we're done with that important business, after we're done with that, the Democratic Party cannot leave behind working class people in Fort Worth ever again. Ever again. Once we've run them out of office, first order of business, we raise the minimum wage from $7.25 to $17 an hour, period. Second order of business, we raise taxes on billionaires to cut housing costs, to cut the cost of health care, to cut the cost of child care. And we invest in great jobs and great schools right here in North Texas. And you know how these sellouts talk about the end of Social Security? Well, here's something you need to know. If Mark Zuckerberg, if we passed a law so that the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world have to pay the same tax rate into Social Security as a school teacher, then we could save Social Security for generations to come, and we can have it expanded so we pull every senior out of poverty in our country forever. And the young people here wouldn't have to send a check to their parents to keep them alive. How's that sound? And now another radical idea. Instead of politicians getting elected to pick on gay Americans or immigrants or women, how about we expand people's rights? What if we give everyone the right to reproductive freedom? How about that? Everybody the right to time off to raise their kids. Give everybody the right to a union and a living wage. Give people a right to a pathway to citizenship. And here's how we make it all stick, which is we have to be different than the Democratic Party of the past by doing this: getting big money out of politics. We make it illegal for politicians to trade in stocks. We ban super PACs. We get corporate money out of elections. And we make it so that lobbyists don't get to pick politicians. You get to elect and unelect your own leaders. It's not going to be easy. People are going to tell you to give up. But there's one man who's never given up. He's been consistent year after year after year. He's never given up on that long road. It's my deep honor to bring up a man who has been paving this road for all of us, who saw the need to take on the billionaires before they were running Trump's cabinet meetings. He's our champion for working people, our champion against the cruelty and the corruption, our champion and warrior for peace, Senator Bernie Sanders.